Hey everybody, Mr. Kroll here, and we're going to show you all how to clean a battery. Okay? If you want to come in close, you guys can take a quick look here. This is our dirty battery. All right, this is real life, real time. We just pulled this out of a vehicle, and obviously, friends, you can see all the dirt and nastiness on this battery. Okay? Naturally, over time, your battery is going to get dirty unless it's completely sealed and enclosed somewhere else, right? This battery normally lives under the hood on this car, so we'll see things like moisture and salt from the roads in the wintertime, and dirt and dust likes to get all up in this battery and builds up a dirty layer on top. You can also see leaks from this battery that's filled with battery acid, right? So you can see that liquid can also leak out. There's some evidence of that on this cover here that normally sits around the battery. You could see where over time some of that battery acid is leaked out, and we get a chalky bluish or whitish material that builds up. Kind of like if you have a battery that sat in one of your favorite old toys for years and years and years, it looks the same way. Okay? Now friends, here's the reason that this is a problem for us. All right? I've got a multimeter right here, and we're going to show you why this is a concern. I'm going to set this up and I'm going to measure for voltage. All right, and I'm measuring direct current voltage. Okay, and we'll show you here, I've got my positive and my negative leads. I'm going to touch to my positive post on my battery, all right, and then I'm going to touch to the negative on the other side, just to show you this is a normal thing that we would check. Okay, and there's your normal battery voltage, right? So a little bit over 12 volts on this particular battery. Okay. Now, that's normal, and that's what we'd expect to see when we go from our positive to our negative, and it's going to allow voltage to flow. Now, here's the problem, all right, friends? So check this one out. We're going to do our positive here, and I'm going to take my negative, and I'm just going to touch onto the top of the battery case and check that out, okay? So right now, in this particular example, we're seeing almost 7.5 volts, okay? And friends, what that's telling us is that we have some surface discharge, okay? We know electricity wants to go from the positive to the negative. Right now, that electricity is just walking around on top of this battery case, okay? And what is it doing to move through this case? It's using the dirt and the battery acid and all that nasty stuff that's on this surface, okay? What that is going to do over time is actually going to shorten the life of your battery, because right now the battery is actually working and sending its electricity all around through the dirt, okay? By cleaning up this battery, we can actually extend the life of it, okay? So it's actually very simple to do, friends, and I'm going to show you right now. We're going to grab a couple of items here to clean, okay? Right here I have a little bit of warm water, all right? Nothing too crazy. And we're also going to use a little bit of baking soda, okay? We're going to use this baking soda, and we're going to mix a little bit into our warm water that we have right here, okay? A little bit will go a long way, and then we're just going to kind of mix that around inside here, and we're going to make a little bit of a paste. So you can see here we have our paste starting to form. All right, so at this point, I'm going to just take some of my shop towels, and we're going to go to work, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to start on the top of this battery, and you guys will see, I'll kind of try to do half and half, all right? So you can see our results. And again, here is some of that kind of pastiness there. You can see that we're going to use to clean. Now, the reason this works, friends, is we know that battery acid is acidic. Make sense? And baking soda is a base. Kind of sounds like some sciencey stuff here, right? Okay? What actually happens, friends, is using this baking soda, it'll neutralize that battery acid and help to remove it permanently from the surface. If you come in close here, friends, you can actually see that reaction taking place. You see the bubbling that's happening on the top of the battery here. That bubbling is the reaction between our baking soda and the battery acid. Okay, so we're just going to clean around, and friends, don't have to worry here. This water and the baking soda is not going to be harmful. You can't electrocute yourself by cleaning this. It is totally safe, just as we're doing here. Okay, so we've got that cleaned up a little bit, and I'm going to just take another rag here, just with some plain water. I'm going to grab from my sink here. All right, and warm water tends to work really well for this, guys. Warm water is good for cleaning. Think like when you wash your clothes or you wash your dishes at home. Okay, now this little bit of water on here is going to actually help to get any of that extra baking soda or any extra dirty stuff off of the battery. Okay, so we got some water to clean that, and then finally we've got just a dry, clean towel that we're going to use to get all of that extra dirty stuff cleared off. All right, so if you guys want to take a look here, just a minute or two of cleaning, you can see there's a drastic difference. A lot of improvement, our clean side versus our side that's still really, really dirty. All right, everybody, we've got our battery fully cleaned. We saved you a little bit of the process, but you can see in here, we clean the top of the case, all sides of the case, and the bottom as best you can, but we can't flip the battery over. You guys can see a much improved condition here on the top. And we're gonna test this battery right now using our multimeter. We're gonna measure for DC, direct current voltage. All right, and I'm gonna measure the exact same that we did last time, and I'm gonna even measure in the same spots. And you can see here, everybody, that we are at an incredibly small amount of voltage, 0.001 volts, okay? So friends, for all intents and purposes, that's essentially 0 voltage that's traveling, right? And if you remember before, we had over 7 volts, right? What this cleaning has done now, we're gonna keep this battery in good shape for a much longer period of time, okay? Now, next step we would take, guys, after cleaning is we want to clean and beautify these posts that are on top of our battery, all right? So we have a couple different options for tools that we can use. And this one here just has a little wire brush inside. So all we're gonna do with this one is push it down onto our post, and we're gonna spin it a bunch of times and slide it up and down just a tad as we go. Okay, and you should be able to see that difference, and you can compare the old one versus new. What we actually did was we cut a tiny little bit of metal off of that surface to give it a nice, good contact point. All right, so that's gonna be nice, fresh metal. It allows electricity to flow easier, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is kind of the same deal. If we open these tools up, there's a brush on the inside, and we wanna also clean the inside of our cables here where the cables would connect to those posts, because this is where our post is gonna be attached. So same kind of idea here. Use our brush, and we're gonna mainly focus on cleaning that inside of our cable. All right, so you can see here, nice clean interior surface where we're making contact, okay? Friends, before we go on here, I want to also mention everything else that this battery would come into contact with, we cleaned also. All right, remember this cover that you guys saw that had all the battery acid spilled all over it? Much nicer looking here now, right? And this is going to go ahead and install on that battery when we put it back in, and that will also help keep everything clean. We also cleaned the bottom tray and our hold down strap that's going to hold the battery in place. Okay, the final thing you would do, friends, once everything's put back together is we have a little bit of a protective spray here that is going to protect the surface and seal in. It's going to help reduce moisture and any other dirt getting into those contact points and creating corrosion, okay? So this will kind of block it from happening. This is kind of like a spray paint can, and I'm just going to demonstrate this for you, what it would look like. We would just take this and do a little bit of a light coating on here, just around the post. Okay, and it's got a nice crazy purple color, so you know that it's working, and we can wipe off any extra that's sprayed a little bit past where we need it to go. Okay, Now that we would normally do inside, we could also spray the cables and the connectors. And friends, that's your battery cleaning, okay? All right, friends, we've completed our battery cleaning. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why is this so important? Well, hey, this simple process that only took basic tools and basic equipment is gonna extend the life of your car battery. Average car battery, guys, is at least $100, okay? This is something that you could sell to a customer, and it's very easy to show them. You could say, here's the before, here's the after. Look at how much nicer your battery looks. And I think you could easily charge someone 20, even 30 bucks to perform this service, all right? Thank you for watching.